All right, y'all, we're going to be looking at a new unit today. This is unit 12 over surface area and volume. Some of this stuff you may be familiar with, others of this you may not be familiar with. So if you need to pause this video at any point to copy down the notes, or you need me to slow down, just go at your own pace, do what you need to do. I'm going to start from the very basic stuff. And that is what a prism is in the first place. We're going to be starting with the surface area of prisms and cylinders. And a prism, that's our first blank, a prism is a three-dimensional solid figure with two bases and any number of faces. So there's two parts of a prism. There's bases and faces. And bases are congruent, parallel sides of a prism that determine the type of prism and how many faces it has. For instance, if the base is a square, squares have four sides, so there are four faces on your prism. If your base is a triangle, triangles have three sides, therefore there are three faces on your prism. So this top picture is a triangular prism. This bottom picture is a square prism or a rectangular prism. Now the faces are congruent sides. They're congruent rectangular sides of a prism that go between the two bases. So my bases are kind of what the shape sits on typically. So this is a base, and then directly across from it is the base. Well, the faces are the four sides between them, or the three sides, or the five sides, however many sides there are. Now, one thing that's important to note is that just because a shape is oriented differently, just because it's facing a different direction, doesn't change which one is the base. So I said the bases are parallel to each other. So in our triangular prism, this is the base, and this is the base. Those are the two bases. This space here is not the base. Not the base. That's another face. So we can turn our prism around in different directions, but if it was standing upright on an end, then that would be the base. Now, we know what a prism is, so we can use a couple of different formulas to figure out how do we find the surface area of a prism. And there's two different types of surface area. There's lateral surface area and total surface area. And the lateral surface area is the area of all of the faces. So everything but the bases. So all of the sides in between the bases of our prism. And the formula for the lateral surface area is P times the height. Now, hopefully we remember from the previous unit that capital P stands for perimeter. So capital P is the perimeter of the base, and H is the height. So in this diagram, 2 here is our height, and we can find our perimeter based on these two values here. So let's go ahead and try finding the lateral surface area of this prism. So the first thing I need is my perimeter, which, if you know how to find perimeter of a rectangle, you have 2 of the length and 2 of the width. So 8 plus 8 plus 7 plus 7, which gives us 30 inches. That's our perimeter. And I said earlier that the height is 2. And the lateral surface area is simply the perimeter of the base times the height of the prism. So perimeter of the base, which is 30, times the height of the prism, which is 2. 30 times 2 is 60. We have 60 square inches, or inches squared, because area is always squared. And surface area is a type of area. That's our lateral surface area. Now the total surface area is the surface area of the entire shape. That means it's the lateral surface area plus the two areas of the bases. So it's area of the faces that we just found and the bases. So our total surface area is the lateral surface area, perimeter times height, plus 2 of the area of the base, 2b, where b is the area of the base. So if I find the area of the base, in this diagram, our base is a rectangle. So area of the base is 7 times 8, which is 56 inches squared. And we can plug that into our equation. So our total equals total surface area equals perimeter times height plus 2 times the area of the base. Now we already know what the perimeter times height is. We can go ahead and put that in. We know that that is 60 plus 2 times the area of the base, which was 56. If we put that into a calculator, we can find that the total surface area is 172 inches squared. Remember that area is always squared. So that's how you find the area of, the surface area of a prism. There's two parts. There's lateral and total surface area. The total surface area has the lateral surface area in it. So if you find the total, as long as you break it up, you found the lateral surface area as well. In the next video, we're going to be looking at how to find the surface area of a cylinder. And then we're going to be looking at some examples of cylinders and prisms all put together.